that we're going to use. We've got the Rider Waite, Miss Mystic, Tasha's Divine Guidance, and Saint Michael. We've got Silver Bullet, After Surgery, looking nice and perky. No more babies for her. And we have Lei Charity. This is a shirt from Lei. I'm going to show you her name there. She put her own sticker there on her shirt, I take it. But she gave me a whole bunch of clothes. She gave me the St. Michael deck. She gave me the Light Seer deck. And she's on here a lot commenting, so make sure to say hi to her. And she also has a regression under my playlist that you can check out. She's from the animal kingdom, and it's under playlist regressions, and it's about a year back. Okay, the first one we're going to go with is the King of Wands is coming out as the overall energy. He's just sitting there and he's letting the ego run the show. He's top shit. I'm drawn to the little lizard here. We have them outside everywhere. Okay. But I'm just getting the feeling off of this King of Wands. Usually it's creativity, but I'm getting more of very egotistic, thinking he's the shit and everybody's shit stinks, right? We all put our pants on one leg at a time, and nobody's better than anybody else, but he thinks he is. And that's a weird energy because I don't normally get that energy off of here. Okay, so he's the shit and he's going to run the world, and you better fall in line and go with what he says or else. Now that's a really weird energy. He's going for his 10 of cups, and if you don't like it, too bad. Now the energy is softening, and it's saying that it's not a bad. I'm saying it too harsh. He's not doing that out of bad. He's doing it out of good, because he needs to have a flame lit under his ass, and he needs to do something. The lizards are making more progress than he is, so he is going to take on the world, and he is going to go for his 10 of cups. Now that can be female or male, okay, because you may be in your male, your male power may be overriding your female power, and you're just saying enough is enough, I'm going for this no matter who gets in my way. Or it can be your mission partner saying enough is enough, I'm just going to go for it. Okay, but it has to do with the world, and the world is the most powerful card I can pull from the deck. Top of the deck is saying that he or you, whoever I'm talking about, went inside. They figured this out by sitting there so long. Remember when I said that one card, he had cobwebs on the bottom of his shoe? Well, this king has sat so long, he's got blisters on his ass. Okay, soul contract. He's decided to finally do it. He went within with the Hermit card, and we got the Two of Cups, which is the soul contract, and it's a wild card. So basically it's saying that the sky's the limit. They're just going for it. So that could be you, it could be him, but whoever it is, they're getting the same energy back to when I said the guy was running towards his motorcycle with his bowl on his back and the cobwebs were dragging from the bottom of his feet. It's the same kind of energy. It's the energy of getting up off of this throne. I have power. I know who I am. I am special. He's got a very narcissist, egotistic attitude, but he's turning it for the good. I brought it out in the beginning like it was, my shit don't stink, get out of my way. But it is that energy, but he's using it to the good. He's using it to, why am I just sitting here letting all the ants do all the work or the lizards do all the work? They're doing more than I am. I'm just sitting here getting blisters on my ass. I'm ready to move forward. Okay, so that was a great reading. We definitely want to see that. Then we have, when's it going to happen? In the near future. Tasha's divine guidance card says in the near future. In the near future, believe in miracles because it is going to happen. Once again, I'm drawn to that bright light. You see the light in my video, bright light, right? It's just going to happen really fast. It's going to happen like the solar flash. And then I'm drawn to, you see this big person in the back? It's like a knight in shining armor, okay? And it says, believe in a miracle. A miracle will soon happen in your life. And we had it right next to the in the near future card. So again, back to that energy, he's not playing. He means business. Okay? And here's my castle card. Guided toward your destined path and purpose. So that's like the 10 of cups again coming out saying, yep, he's had it. He's done going within. You've had it. You're done going within. And you're going to take on the world, your world mission. Everybody has a world mission to complete. Some are more significant than others, of course. And I want to say hi to Buddy and Soul Sister. Funny, I just recently unsubscribed from an arrogant narcissist who is only out for themselves. They are not leaning towards the divine, but they sure look good faking it. Now, that's funny that I saw that and that I'm reading that because I don't usually follow the comments because it takes from my energy. But Soul Sister's on here every day, and they told me to read that because that's absolutely correct. And I have unsubscribed to so many. I think I'm down to Steve's Love Tarot, Miss Mystic, Soul Sister, Tasha's Divine Guidance, Anakin. I'm down to very few, okay? Because I'm just going to be going for it too. I'm not going to have time to sit and watch tarot readings all day, but I am going to keep my station up. I'm going to keep reading the energy. So good for you, Soul Sister. And I didn't mean to accidentally drain you. I love you. No, when I'm called to a comment, that's part of the energy. It's not draining me at all. What drains me is when I get into people saying I hate you or, whatever they're saying, right? The trolls, I guess you call them. Whenever I get distracted with one of them energies, it takes it away. But that's okay because I've had my spirit team focus on only what they want me to read will jump out at me. And you jumped out at me. Okay, so in the near future, we are going to have our miracle come true because remember, I keep saying that you both have to be balanced. If you're not both balanced, then it's not going to happen. So, once again, with him coming out of the hermit mode and saying, enough is enough, I have the power, I have the money, I have the mission, I have all these characteristics. I need to get off my ass and do something. That's wonderful. It's great. Okay, and angels are with you, and he knows that. Now look again. What do you see? In shining armor. There's the castle. You saw the knight in shining armor with that bright light that's in my video right now. That same light right up here in the corner. So, okay, we're going to leave that reading there. Then we're going to go to St. Michael. And he says energy healing work is what he wants you to focus on. energy healing work, and self respect. Okay? Every time I get this card, I have to tell you the story about self respect. Respect comes from within, not from without. So many people say, he disrespected me, she disrespected me. Whenever you hear yourself say those statements, you're not on the right thinking. Okay? Nobody can disrespect you unless you let them. They're just pawns on a chessboard. They're just non player characters in a movie. They're just trolls, clones, right? They're just your karmic family, right? A real soul sister or a real partner, they respect you. You don't ever have to say, oh, he disrespects me. So if anybody disrespects you, one, no, you're letting them disrespect you. And two, they're one of them that I mentioned above. Okay? And you don't care. Respect comes from within. Okay? So do your energy healing work if you're not at that level. Okay? Very important. And decide to be happy now. A lot of you are like that king that was sitting. Okay? You're like the motorcycle guy with the cobwebs on the back of his shoe. You don't get cobwebs on the back of your shoe unless you were sitting for a while, right? Standing for a while, whatever. However, you get cobwebs on the bottom of your heel, I would have no idea. Okay? The sitting king's blisters on his ass, right? Okay. Get busy. Decide to be happy now, not later. Top of the deck, forgive yourself, you've done nothing wrong. Every day I hear people complain that they're doing stuff wrong. Well, that's what the devil wants. He wants you to beat yourself up because then you're going to go backwards. The more you put guilt and shame on yourself, the more you go backwards and you fall into the traps, okay? But if you listen and move forward, when you do something wrong in your eyes, right, in your eyes, stop it, don't repeat it, and move forward. I'm hearing that song from Atlantis Morissette. You live, you learn. We'll put that song on later and do a short, okay? You live, you learn. Check out that song. It's coming through. Okay? And then we have sense of humor. And keep your sense of humor about yourself because we all do something wrong. Remember the other day when I said most pets die because of owner error? It's really true. I had lots of visions last night in Astro of people on the earth backing out of their driveway and smushing their pets because they were too much in a hurry to get to work. I've heard lots of stories and saw them too in Astro. People leaving pets and animals in their cars and the animals and the people dying. A 1-year-old was just on the news before I came on. And I told you the story about the guy that rolled over on his newborn. I've told you stories about me having too big of a bird cage, the holes in it, the bars in it, and a cat got them. Having a faulty cage, and the door came open, and the bird flew out. One never came back. One got bit by a cat. I could go on and on about human errors are the biggest thing that screw us up. How did I get on that? I don't know, but you needed to hear that, and we did a lot of that in Astro last night because it's just so traumatic for the person. The person's like, my God, that was my kid. My God, that was my pet, which is my kid. And they're so traumatized from what they did, and they have so much guilt that we have to help them forgive themselves because they've done nothing wrong. And we have to show them the soul contract. We have to show them why it happened, how it happened, and we have to explain to them like Jesus came to take that animal's soul and that baby's soul and leave the avatar, but you put it in your soul contract this way so that you could work through this trauma. And oh, that's it's hard to do, but we have to work with you in astro because obviously there's not much help here on the earth except if you went to therapy, right? The counselors, stuff like that. So we work with you in astro, and then when you wake up, it's easier to go to a counselor, and it's easier to go to grief counseling and to get yourself back on track because of all the work we're doing in astro. So there's so much you don't see, but I told you I'm a master teacher in astro, and I mean that. And that was what we were doing last night. And also, we were doing healing from these ascension symptoms. I don't know if any of you are dizzy, headaches, heartburn, pain in your knees, in any of your body that you have pins or artificial anything in your body. Because in astro, like we're taking out the matrix pin in your knee and we're replacing it with it being healed, but you don't know that. So you're waking up and your knee really, really hurts and you have to take some aspirin, right? And then feels fine. Okay. Teeth, a lot of us have those silver things in our teeth. I think they're called mercury cavities. I'm not sure what they are called, but they're like silver things in your teeth. I have a lot of them. I had implants in my teeth. I had some, my mouth is my biggest problem. Um, I had a lot of stuff with my mouth, and they're constantly going in there and fixing what the matrix does. So, again, this is so deep. If you only knew all the stuff we're doing in astro, 1724 on the clock, if you only knew all the stuff we're doing in astro, and then you wake up and you don't remember any of this, so it's like very confusing. Yeah. Mercury fillings. Yes, thank you. So they're still there, but the effects of them and the implants and all the stuff in our bodies, we're working on an astral. Then when you come here and you take folium or you do your energy healing work or you do anything here, they coincide with each other. Just like the trauma. If you just went to counseling by yourself in 3D, 4D, it doesn't work. But if Astro's helping you, just like with your addictions, that's why I said the AA program was the only program that I believe in, the 12-step program, because in Astro, we're working with you, and then you come in here, you read the books, you go to the meetings, and it changes your thinking. Okay? Same with trauma. If you woke up and found out that in Astro, you were reading all about your soul contract, you're reading all about why this incident happened. Then you can forgive yourself. You've done nothing wrong. You see where I went with that? Because before all that talk, you're like, how can I forgive myself for running over my dog? I can't do it. How can I forgive myself for leaving my kid in the car, right? You cannot forgive yourself because you just keep thinking 3D. You don't see it with spiritual eyes. So when a person says they're a spirit guide or an ascended master teacher or they're a teacher or a counselor, it's in all realms. And Steve was talking about the 11th dimension yesterday. It's really true. You know, we are on all the dimensions at all times. So if somebody says, like me, Rebecca Booby 11 means 11th dimension, and this one is 12, she means it. Okay, and then the last card is detach from any kind of unhealthy situations, but it doesn't say unhealthy. I added that because you don't need to detach from everybody and anything and go back into hermit. That's not what we're saying, even though the hermit card came up. We're saying energy healing work on thyself, self respect of thyself. Okay? Staying high vibed and in balance. So when that knock comes on the door and you see that white horse and your mission partner has arrived, you're at his level and he's at your level. If you're already with your mission partner, you both have to climb together. Now, when I talk about my old mission partner, we climbed together, but I climbed higher and he had to go to the fifth dimension because he wasn't climbing his highest ladder here in 3D and he was actually pulling me down. So I studied my soul contract and I figured all this out and I know this stuff. And now I changed my soul contract for my new chapter here. But he was supposed to stay here and finish it with me. But so we have to detach from all unhealthy situations. And I put the word unhealthy in. Then we have St. Michael says, be useful, happy, and free. So that goes right along with the card I picked from Miss Mystic. He said, decide to be happy now. And Miss Mystic said, be useful, happy, and free. And then I got the Ace of Swords, which is the St. Michael card. Okay? It says, St. Michael's Sword of Truth. Everything here is yes, yes, yes. Trust truth and only the truth. New ideas, that aha moment, clarity, victory, heightened state of consciousness. Now, I want to go back to heightened state of consciousness. If you just listen to my video and you understand what I'm saying about forgive yourself, you've done nothing wrong, that was part of the soul contract. My mission partner didn't climb as high as me, so he needed to be removed, put into a higher dimension so he wouldn't keep bringing me down, and I needed to move forward and redo my soul contract. This is all talking higher state of consciousness. So if you get it, you get it, but if you don't, then you're not at that highest state of consciousness, and either my channel isn't for you or you need to go deeper until you can relate to what I'm saying, because I'm not going to dumb this down. I can't. I can only dumb it down as far as I can by using analogies. We need to leave behind the familiar, feeling stuck, seeking deeper meaning. Just what I said. Changes, new phase, learn from the past. Atlantis Morissette. You live, you learn. So the Eight of Cups is that final card here that I'm pulling on everything I just said. Okay, we're leaving the past behind. We're going into our new. We've already went into our new. We've already changed our soul contract. We've already got our new assignment. We already have our next chapter right in front of us in Astro. Now you're awake and you're watching this video, and I can only stress that it's in the near future. The night is there. We're on our way. But you have to stay high vibed. When you fall into traps and they pull you down from that ladder, you just don't realize how much you are playing with fire, but yet we have to forgive ourselves for we've done nothing wrong because it's part of the soul contract. So I guess what I'm trying to say is the sooner you learn the lesson, the better. And more prayer is needed. More prayer is needed. The sooner you learn the lesson, the better. Okay, I am Miss Mystic, and I want to thank you for listening.